Hello everybody, my name is Probate Gaming, and today I'm going to be doing a tutorial for the Spike Trap Strafe build coming in Diablo 3 Season 28. So this is currently in the PTR, which has allowed me to kind of speedily get a few of the important things, or everything, quickly. So the first thing I'm actually going to go over here is the altar. So in Act 1, you work to complete this altar, and there will be lots of videos already on this on YouTube, so I'm not even going to cover it in this video, but basically the altar is essential. It gives you a ton of gigantic buffs. Don't worry about that spelling mistake there in the altar. I'm sure that they'll fix that before. I'm just going to put this in public so somebody can maybe get this fixed. And then this goes anyways, so gives you huge buffs, 15% damage, 25% damage done to boss, elite backstrap, 1 additional progress orb, and a fun one about that is it does actually stack with other people, so you can get multiple extra orbs per elite boss back if you have multiple people in your party, up to the full 4, which gives you extra clear time and everything, so that's awesome. When you drink your health potion, gain a random shrine or pylon effect. So you want to use your potion on cooldown. That can give you power, conduit, speed, shield. Actually unreal how good some of these are. Double the chance to find a legendary item purchased from Kadala, etc., etc. So now we'll get into the actual build. So we're using 3 different sets currently. Shadow's Mask and Shoulders. And I can't actually specifically tell you why this is in the build. The 2 set bonus is being applied to, I'm guessing, Spike Trap, despite not saying that it is. Because every top clear is using the 2-piece shadow build, and it does add just a ridiculous amount of damage to the rest of this build if you were to run it normally without these pieces on there. So then you're going to need your 6-piece Natalias, and you got to use these specific set pieces. I don't know how much ability to change up these pieces there is, because the 3rd set is Guardian's Aversion, and there's only 3 pieces for this. Belt, bracers, and head, and you're using the head from the Shadow's Mask. I did try to move it around a little bit at one point because I found a very good roll on an ancient piece, but it didn't end up working out. I had to stick to these exact pieces. So the Natalia's is torso, feet, hands, legs, finger, and then you use Sunkeeper as your weapon, and this was a shock to me at first. Normally you are using Carlay's Point if you're using Impale build, or I mean something. There's lots of Demon Hunter specific weapons, so it caught me off guard that we were using this, but then I looked in it. You can get 30% increased damage against elites, so that's fairly significant. And the 2-piece of the Shadows set is, while equipped with a melee weapon, the damage of your Bolas, Chakram, Fan of Knives, and Impale are increased by 6,000%. My phone was ringing there for some reason. But so yeah, so you're running a melee weapon, and if this damage is actually being applied to your Spike Trap, which is what we are implying is happening with the damage increase that is being seen, and I will show you guys as well how big the damage is in this build. I'm going to run a Greater Rift 150 solo with this thing, because it's truly outstanding. So yeah, then you're running Holy Point Shot build, or the Quiver, sorry. I actually was able to get an Ancient one, but the important thing that you'd need in terms of rolls are lightning skill damage. That's a big priority. And spike trap damage. I had to roll that on, but you also want a nice high increased damage on the actual impale. I wish I could move my mouse over and show you guys, but whenever I move it, it goes away, but that's okay. So let's see, what do we need to cover next? We're using Convention of Elements, and the other alternative to that I like have been trying out a little bit is the Stone of Jordan. I think I have a good rule there. That's a very good rule for this build, if only it were Ancient and with a socket. But yeah, you want the 20% lightning damage, the 30% damage against elites again, which stacks very nicely, obviously, with the Sunkeeper. If that's a big enough buff to become the main runner, like the main contender, sorry, for the weapon for this build, then that makes me think that the Stone of Jordan would also be incredibly significant with that. And they understand the 185% up to 200% increased damage of an element is incredible as well. Like, even the fact that I have a 185% as opposed to a 200% right now is a massive loss in damage. But what I'm finding is sometimes, especially on Greater Rift 150, I'm losing a lot of damage if I'm not on the lightning proc in Convention of Elements. Whereas if I were to run the Stone of Jordan, each of the elemental bonus or damage bonus is equal to your highest static elemental bonus to skill. So because we're running the elemental damage of lightning here, here, so that's 20, 40, 60 at least, right? Yeah, I guess it's just 60% right now, but so that's 60%, and that's up to 80% with this. And then each of your elementals damage bonus is equal to your highest. So then any other of these is always getting 80%. Every, like 80% versus 185 cycling. Like, I think the 85% is going to be more consistent damage. So I'm still waiting to get a really good Ancient roll so that I'm able to throw a augment on it and give you a true test to see if I like the damage better on the Stone of Jordan. Maybe I'll do 2 runs just in this video, and I will use this non-ancient Stone of Jordan just to see. I'm going to have to roll a socket into it though here very quickly. So while I'm doing that, I'll just talk about some other things in this build. So I guess we'll get rid of this attack speed, which is unfortunate, but that is what it is. So the first skill that you're going to need is Companion, Wolf Companion. So this is a on-use damage boost for yourself, which is very handy. It also applies to group members if you happen to be running in groups. Your second ability is Smoke Screen Displacement. So that makes you invisible and increases your movement speed. The alternative to that skill is Shadow Power at Gloom. That's what I'm seeing. A few other people in the top of the leaderboard are using that. So go ahead and try both. See which one you prefer. The other one gives you a lot of life per hit versus making you momentarily invisible. So potentially much greater actual survivability. The next one that you're going to worry about is Vengeance, Dark Heart. It's imperative that you use Dark Heart because it makes lightning. You damage lightning. Okay. Also, it's the best rune, conveniently, Reducing all damage taken by 50%, that is just always nice to have. You'll notice that you have lots and lots and lots of damage with this build, and you'll be looking for a little bit of survivability, but it's really not that hard to come by, especially if you play the build well. Preparation. Punishment is going to be your 4 slot. Feel free to change these 4 around. We use punishment for the hatred boost. This build can have a little bit of difficulty just maintaining that maximum hatred, which is alright. It's really not that bad. You get used to it, especially using this. You don't want to just use this willy-nilly. You want to wait until you're completely out of hatred, and that's going to be your biggest helper. There's a few things that help keep your hatred up as well, especially when you're low Paragon. There's this new legendary gem called the Red Soul Shard. If you'll look at the level 25 effect for it, it is after gaining a level, your resource costs are removed and cooldowns on skills are reduced by 75% for 30 seconds. In high level Greater Rifts, you'll be leveling more than once every 30 seconds if you're maintaining a good speed. As long as you're able to get your first level off, you will notice that this is just an incredible chain reaction, and it's going to lead to great clear times. Something that we have not seen before, seriously. The first passive skill is Tactical Advantage. There is one passive skill that we are going to alternate between, but 3 of them are 100% all the time for me. And one of the 100% ones is Tactical Advantage. Basically, you're using Shadow Power or Smokescreen, and that's giving you 60% movement speed for 2 seconds. Basically just incredible, giving you like 160% increased movement speed every time you use your Smokescreen, because of the Tactical Advantage going with it. And the Displacement rune. The custom engineering is 100% required for your damage. It's increasing your maximum number of spike traps to 5. Okay, that is imperative. I'll show you the build or the set here. So, hitting an enemy summons a spike trap. If it is on your action bar, each spike trap detonation restores 1 discipline. Okay, discipline is going to be used to keep yourself moving quickly. Okay, so that's just nice. You don't really have to worry about your discipline. The 4th set bonus is laying a spike trap. It grants 60% damage reduction. Okay, awesome, just incredible. The duration of this bonus is always equal to the number of already laid traps in seconds. So think about that one. You're just constantly laying traps the whole rift. And then, Spike Trap deals 10,000% increased damage, and each consecutive blast from the detonated chain reaction will deal 10% more damage than the previous blast. So again, chain reaction, constantly building up spike traps, and obviously, in anything where you're doing like multiplicative calculations like that, it's going to be beneficial to be able to get more and more. The more the merrier. Then we come to Cult Week. This one is the one that we will be swapping out as we see fit. So, increased damage against slowed or chilled enemies by 20%. So there are a few things in the build that's going to be helping you achieve a slow. Firstly, you gain cold damage sometimes from convention of elements, and I believe that probably gives you a slow. But the one that really gives you it is this Bane of the Trapped. It slows enemies within 15 yards, so you're standing on top of them, and it's giving you a significant boost to your damage. This we will trade out for potentially Blood Vengeance if you're having issues with your hatred. So I run that when I'm running solo. For the most part, if I'm running with like a support barb or with other demon hunters, then anytime when there's like a scarcity of my hatred, or I'm running low on resource, having difficulty with resource. When there's other people on your team, you don't notice it as bad. You're not like losing those valuable seconds of things dying, and it doesn't bring you to a complete standstill. Like, shit will still die, and you're still gaining experience towards that next level when your red blood shard will proc again, giving you that awesome 75% cooldown and resource reduction. So, running in groups, or if you're not having any issues with your hatred, then you want to use Call of the Week. If you're having issues with your hatred, then I would switch to Blood Vengeance. So I'm actually going to rock Blood Vengeance for the first Greater Rift 150 that I show you. And then the fourth one is Ambush. You deal 40% additional damage to enemies above 75 health. So this makes it so that hopefully you one-shot the creature. That's kind of the goal that the build is going for, sorry. Yeah, you just, hopefully you one-shot. Like, if you're doing like Greater Rift 120, if I do a Greater Rift 120 right now, I will one-shot everything. Like, I do not stop moving from the time that I start the rift until I finish the rift. But it's not necessarily like that 150. You do a little bit of spinning around in circles, and the elites are a little bit harder to kill. But you'll see. I don't know that I actually went over my left and right clicks yet. I don't think I did, so we're going to go over them now. Left click is Spike Trap. You don't actually ever cast this, so that's nice. It just sits in your left click. Basically, you choose Lightning Rod as the rune for it, and you lay a trap that arms after 1.5 seconds and triggers when an enemy approaches. Once triggered, the trap will chain hit up to 3 enemies within 10 yards up to 3 times. Lightning will also arc from a triggered trap to any armed traps within 25 yards, up to 5 that we have. All enemies targeted are hit for 2,020% weapon damage as lightning over 3 hits. So, you just go zooming through a room. I'll show you here. You go zooming through a room. Okay, it's not actually placing any traps. That's lame. Well, they look like this. And they slaughter your enemies, basically. Like that, you saw the lightning surging. So any enemies on or in there are going to be just getting absolutely slaughtered. Let's see, what are some other important things that I'm missing? You want Drifting Shadow Strafe. This is your main move. You just use it 100% of the time in your rift. You just hold right click. Shoot at random and nearby enemies for 675% weapon damage as lightning while moving at 100% of normal movement speed. So, you're obviously proccing this, and you got lightning damage coming from here. So your Strafe does pretty good damage, but your Spike Trap does, I'd say, probably 95% of your damage. I don't know that for sure, but it sure seems like that. So the 4 legendary gems that you're running now are Red Soul Shard in your helm. It only goes in your helm. Then we're using, I don't know if I went over Squirt's Necklace either, but while not taking damage, damage dealt is increased by up to 100% damage, and damage taken is increased by up to 50%. So basically, just a huge damage buff if you are just one-shot killing everything. You can use diamonds or emeralds in your gear. Emeralds are going to give you more dexterity, diamonds are going to give you more survivability. Stone of Vengeance is your second rune. Taiguk is your 3rd rune. Basically, you're going to hold those 10 stacks all the time, and that's going to be 78.88%, right? Increased damage all the time, as well as 20% increased armor, so that's just very nice. Damage you deal is increased by 16% for every 10 yards between you and the enemy hit, maximum 80% increase. So 80% increased damage, this is 80% increased damage, and this is 6% increased damage. So those 3 gems are just going to be like constantly working together, and as well as giving you another 20% increased damage if you are to go with Call the Week. So maybe we will run this one here. And we're just going to go ahead and pop into a Greater Rift 150 and just show you guys what the build is like and just how fucking easy it is, truly. So go ahead and get your buffs up. We don't have our stacks of Taiguk, so 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and you can see that stuff is dying already. So this is a Juggernaut mob. So if you guys are unaware, Juggernaut gives them a lot of extra health and toughness. I haven't actually tried Shadow Power, the increased life per hit ability, as opposed to this invisibility one, not invincibility. And I'm tempted to try it because I do a lot of time sitting here at low health like this, and if I had, 24,000 life per hit increase, because I'm not sure that I have any real life per hit right now. Like, I feel like that's somewhere that I'm lacking. So there is lots of things that you can, like, modify in the... Oh my gosh. Did that? That's okay. I probably let my Taiga stacks get down. And if you ever run... Oh, I see, I used my preparation before I should have, but luckily we're okay. So one of the things this season does whenever you use your potion, you drop just a random orb of power, one of the 3, pink, green, or blue, I think. You also gain a random shrine effect every time you use your potion, so if you are not using your potion, you are you're butchering your own rift, and that's just the truth. See, I've got speed here now. So it's really, this rift is quite a bit easier than what we've seen before. This one is not an easy boss either, but like, I'm gonna find some easier ones here, you'll see. I'll do some good clearing here. But as you guys can see, like, I'm really not struggling very much with this Greater Rift 150, which is still the highest rift available right now. And yes, I'm 2000 Paragon, but they've really actually made it a lot easier for those who are lower Paragon with this Red Soul Shard. So if you recall, every time you level, you get 75% cooldown reduction and resource cost reduction, and it just makes it so you have all of your abilities all the time. Like, it's just crazy. Like, your wolf companion is always up, you always have vengeance. So your clear speed is just so good. You don't really have to worry about your hatred, so you're using Cull the Weak as well. And look at that, guys. Look at the lead on the timer that we've got going now. Like, this build is just so strong. Priorities for this build. Well, with the new season as well, I forgot to mention as well, you can upgrade one primal item. You can create a primal using primordial ashes, which is a material that you get for salvaging primals. Ashton, stop barking. It's alright. That's enough. Ashton, that's enough. When you dissolve a primal, you get 55 primordial ashes, and it takes 100 primordial ashes to upgrade one primal item. Now, it's just because it's primal doesn't mean it's perfect, but in the PTR they made it very easy to get primordial ashes. It actually drops in a bag that you can buy from a goat for 50 blood shards or 25 blood shards. So testing it is much easier than actually being able to obtain everything. So it's only taken me a few days to be able to get to this point, 2000 Paragon, and clearing Greater Rift 150's, but it's not actually going to be like that in the real game, this real season. I'm sure that we're going to be pushing these incredible times, especially with the ability to create power and conduit and everything just with your health potions. Like, I think in 4-person parties, you are getting 4 buffs. And then you want to run a support barb, or a support class of some kind, but then the support that is popular right now on the PTR is support barb, and they're running Solarium or Selenium weapon, which is critical hits have a 4% chance to spawn a health globe, so then you get, the amulet of, what is that one called? pylons. I can't remember what it's called, but what it does is it makes the pylons last for 10 minutes. And then you can get like gloves that affect pylons. It's just actually ridiculous. So you can also use a lot of that stuff in your Templar. You can use, the Templar with Unity and throw one on yourself if you really wanted to, in place of your convention of elements if you're having a lot of difficulty staying alive. So there's like a few modifications you can make to this build, but this has not been the best Greater Rift 150 run, but I mean, really, we are not even halfway through the timer solo while I'm talking through a build. Oh, and that was just completely my fault for sending in that frozen pulse. Like, that's not the build's problem at all. If I was playing well, it would be playing better as well. So there we go. 8 minutes 26 seconds. That's actually my personal best already with this build. 704, 633 to 704. So that's good. Setting new records all the time. It's getting stronger and stronger. You do get a little bit of Paragon points still. Obviously, I've got everything maxed out. Movement, speed, hatred. I have a little bit in vitality. You can figure out what works best for you. I've heard about 1.4 million health is probably about like good. My rolls are not perfect. Obviously, I've been kind of rushing a little bit to get up here and be able to get to this point where I'm able to record. Oh, there we go. 2 more. And my 3 gems will all be level 150, and then we begin working on our 150 level atonements for our gear. And after that, well, we'll see what kind of times we can set on Greater Rift 150, and yeah, that'll be it for this character. I'll start working on a different one. Or maybe the season will be out at that point already, but you can kind of see what I'm working on with these other, like, those are the important stats there. Vitality on this other one is very nice. 943 vitality, like, you think about how much that is. That's I don't know. Well, let's see. 1.15 million health to 1.4. See, like, just by having vitality on this weapon, I am at that goal that I said that I would like to be at with my gear. But yeah, I've had to drop vitality, unfortunately, to reach this insane damage that I do. And like I said, I run with a support barbarian sometimes, and they really just make the build thrive. The support barbarian has something in it that makes them... Oh, they use Ice Blink, that's it. The Ice Blink rune. Let's see if I actually have one. Yeah, oh god. Ice Blink laying around. Oh my gosh, can I please just type in Ice Blink? Yeah, there, okay. So, gold skills now apply chill effects, and chill effects now slow enemy movement by an additional 10 or 15%, and that increases. Enemies who chill have 10% increased damage to be, or chance, sorry, to be critically hit, which is just awesome. So, they slow them down, give you that 20% damage increase from Call the Weak, so you don't even have to stand on top of them. You can stand at range and maximize from Zystone of Vengeance. So basically you just want to be looking for these. Any portals or anything, you want to be standing in those. So yeah, that's about it. That is your Demon Hunter Season 28 Spike Trap build. I've kind of went through a lot, and not very well, I will say. So if you have any questions, please feel free to ask in the comments. I will be monitoring them, and I'll try to get back to you very quickly. You can kind of look at my rolls. Spike Trap damage is important. Cooldown. Yeah, crit, lightning skills, crit, anywhere you can. And Spike Trap, obviously. And I didn't actually try the Stone of Jordan, but maybe I'll just do that here at the end. But this is the end of the actual guide. If you're curious about how the Stone of Jordan works out, feel free to take a look. We're just gonna swap it out. Oh, sorry, I forgot I already kept it in my bag. So I'll swap it out. I don't even know that the Stone of Jordan's actually gonna do anything. Oh, I guess it's just the 30% damage to elites. The ability doesn't actually do very much, but okay. We'll just do the 150 with this. And any other damage types that we try to do are going to be equivalent to the lightning now, so. See, it's a little bit slow when you're starting out until you get that first level, get that red soul shard going. See, I feel like maybe if you were trying to use a different damage type other than lightning anywhere, then this would be the way to go. Like if I wanted to use lightning or cold strafe or something, for example. Okay, there we go. But yeah, my thought with the Stone of Jordan is if the Sun Keeper's 30% damage is big enough to take over the whole weapon slot, like it outweighs any Demon Hunter weapon or anything, then surely 30% damage to bosses on the ring is also just very, very strong. But I don't know, it doesn't seem to be like able to mimic that 185% occasional proc to lightning. It's unfortunate. And, like, I'm not saying that this is bad or anything. Like, my damage is good here. With the Stone of Jordan. As well. Like, the damage against elites is kind of just not super noticeable to me. I ran through the fucking puddle there. What was the other thing I was contemplating trying there for the life regen? I think that's it for the blues. Yep. Alright. Moving on. Oh, yes. The other skill there. So I don't know. I think I'm going to spend some time re-rolling my convention of elements. And I'll just try to make a better version of it for this build. Because right now it's double crit, dex, socket, I think. And I need double crit, cooldown socket maybe, or vitality socket. And they also need that 200% damage, because I think that's going to be significant. Oof, double channeling shield. I gotta see what my Templar is wearing. I feel like there's some improvements that he can be done as well. I don't even think I showed you guys what the Templar is wearing. So I don't know how long ago the Templar was able to wear like a full set of gear. But now he wears a lot of gear, like basically every piece. So you want to wear like Nemesis bracers on him, Leoric's crown with the... Oh, actually, no, that's not the right helmet. I guess you could probably give him a Kilocuris, and... I don't know, I'll look at what he's wearing. I know when you buy, like, the follower pack on here, it gives you, like, all that stuff, and Thunder Fury, and, like, some weapons that they can wear, but it's definitely not your best set. So I feel like he's wearing a lot of that stuff still. I've been focused mostly on my gear for a long time. But now that I'm just, you know, pushing 150s like this all day, not all day, but solo it is the most reasonable thing to farm. Like, you get the most bang out of your build, especially having all my gems be up this high. I was so close to getting Vengeance back up. But yeah, especially with getting most of my gems to like 150 in that area, it's very important that you get as much a percent chance to complete that gem as you can. So I'm doing right 150s, and I'm just cranking them up. Hopefully I will hit 150 on that Tycho 3rd gem. I don't know if it's an achievement or what to get 3 150 gems, but it'll be my first time. See, this is the thing I'm talking about, where shadow power would come in so handy, right? Like, yeah, I'm invisible, woohoo, I'm not gaining any health. You know what I mean? Like, I'm just waiting for my healing potion to come back up all the time. Trying not to take any damage. Like, I think I should definitely go for shadow power and give that a try. Don't get me wrong, the invisibility is nice. It's very nice. But it's not... Like, I'm not getting one shot anymore. So... I think the health will heal me more. Help me more. Because look how much I hit as well, you know what I mean? So we'll look at Shadow Power Gloom. It's 35% damage reduction. Like, that's... I'm not taking any damage reduction here, I don't think. Other than tactical advantage. Yeah, so I think that's definitely the play. Oh, dead again. Dead again. Got him. Alright, moving on. So yeah, anyway guys, conventional elements definitely seems to be the way to go here. But yeah, I've also discovered that I think I'm going to try Shadow Powered Gloom. Also, it'll be fun kind of to see if we feel like we're doing better against the Rift Guardian with this double, like the ring, doing the enchant damage against the leads as well. Or enhanced, not enchant. Damn it. Focusing on trying not to die to these damn Desecrator mortar reflex damage. Like, damn, dudes, leave me the frig alone. And again, I don't heal very much. And again, my fault, like, for primarily rolling life vitality away on all my gear, but also, like, you know, not maintaining any life per hit and stuff like that. Like, those are important stats. You gotta maintain those. Have a little bit of everything on there. These are live notes from someone playing the game. Watch your survivability, and damage is not really that hard to find with this build. You know, if you can stay alive, stuff will die. There's always ways to make more damage if you're not having difficulty staying alive. Like when I run with my support barbarian, I have like 7 billion toughness, alright? Okay, well, never mind. I have, anyways, way more toughness than when I'm rocking when I'm by myself. And, it makes it extremely fucking easy. Like, for the most part, I can just stand and stuff like that. Not big things like meteors. Like this shit, Molten. You always want to stay out of those. Frozen Pulse beams. But beams won't one-shot me with the Barbarian. Like, that's the difference. It's nice. I do feel like I'm doing a lot of damage against this guy. So it's definitely not too bad. Like, it's consistent damage instead of, you know, you're waiting, and then you get your lightning proc. But the difference is when you get the lightning proc, I mean, you're hitting damage that I'm not getting anywhere near now. Alright, so barely completed that 150 with the Stone of Jordan. So yeah, go ahead and mark it down as the Convention of Elements is your choice gem, for sure. Your ring. Oh my gosh. Only 1 of 3. I should have empowered the rift so that I had another chance. Damn. Now I have to go in and use another rift just to get that 150. Anyway guys, thanks for watching. That is the build. We're going to go ahead and throw the Convention of Elements back on, and we will throw up the skills one last time onto your screen so that you guys can go ahead and copy them down if you guys want. And there you are. Thanks for watching.